All right, I'm going to hit that B button now that you just taught me about, because here's something I want to talk about, and it does go back to Tron. You mentioned the a lot of the negativity that's been online around where Tron's concerned, right? Now, this is a question I had. In fact, I got somebody very upset. One of my viewers was not happy that I said this last year. Gary, I can't remember if it's the one with a one at the end or the one without the one at the end. So right now I'm sending it to the one with the one on the end. And if that's not it, let me know. Okay. So about a year ago, one of my viewers got very, very upset that I said this, but Joker 2 came out and nobody saw it. Mm-hmm. It bombed. It did so bad. Nobody saw that movie. But the next day on Twitter and Facebook and all social media, all I kept reading about was how horrible the movie was. It's so horrible. It's so horrible. It's so horrible. And people weren't saying, I don't want to see this. That's not what I was seeing. I wasn't seeing people say, I'm not interested in this movie. I don't want to see this movie. They were saying, this movie sucked. I hated this movie. This movie was garbage. And after seeing that all over the place on social media, I finally came to a realization. These people are lying. Mm-hmm. They didn't see the movie.
Yeah.
Because if everyone that was telling me how shitty they thought the movie was saw the movie, it wouldn't have done so poorly. Now, now it's on HBO Max. Now it's on Blu-ray. I don't know. You people may have seen it now.
Yeah.
Whatever you think about the movie, I'm not going to challenge your thoughts now. If you like the movie, you like the movie. You don't like the movie, you don't like the movie. All I'm saying is, if all those people at that time, opening weekend, had actually seen the film, it wouldn't have opened so low. And I'm seeing the same thing right now with Tron. I'm not seeing people say, I'm not interested in this. I don't want to see this. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing this sucked. This was shit. I hated this. Okay. Then how come the box office is so low if all of you saw this movie?
Right. It's almost like they're just repeating what they're seeing other people saying on the internet, or reading an article and just saying what the article said. That's usually what I assume when I see stuff like that.
And by the way, Gary from Metro Obelisk
Hello. Is my mic coming through?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Haven't heard from you in a while. Welcome.
Yeah, it's been like a year. I think the last time I was on the show was the watch party with Anna and the Apocalypse.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was about a year ago now.
Yeah, Christmas time.
Yeah.
I love that movie. So, Gary? What are your thoughts there? I don't know if you heard what we were saying, but I was just saying
your thoughts on what particular topic? Tron Ares,
Tron, and last year with Joker. I kept saying if the opening weekend box office was that low, then all the people on social media saying how much they hated the film, some of them had to be full of crap.
I think that the biggest issue
seen it or would have had a bigger opening.
The biggest issue with Joker 2 was that they turned it into a musical, the jukebox musical. I think that turned a lot of people off right from the get-go.
Well,
you can't ignore that may have had something to do with the lower box office. Is that here's the first movie, which was more of like a serious character study drama, and then you do a sequel and you do this jukebox musical where now the Joker's entering into like a song and dance, and now it feels more like a parody of itself.
Okay, but do you think those people actually saw the film though?
I don't think that they saw it. I never saw Joker 2. I never did a review of it, but I remember doing a video at the time, and I do remember highlighting that I think one of the biggest issues was turning it into the jukebox musical. But no, everyone going out trashing the movie, saying that that Joker 2 killed my kid or something like that, didn't actually watch the movie for themselves. I was never going to watch it because it was a jukebox musical, but I'm also not going to share my opinion and say it's the worst movie ever made because I refuse to watch it.
You see, yeah, that's my point exactly.
I'll do an analysis for why I believe that the box office didn't do as well as the first movie, but I'm not going to come on and say it's the worst movie ever made.
Okay, I agree with that. But I was seeing that again this weekend with Tron. I was just seeing people say how much they hate the movie.
Do you think Jared Leto has anything to do with that?
Oh, I think Jared Leto has a whole lot to do with that.
I think Jared Leto has a lot to do with it, but I don't think he's the only factor. Tron has always been a niche franchise. Tron, the original Tron, was not. That's the opinion. When we talk about a movie that failed at the box office and then found an audience later, Tron's the epitome of that. And then Legacy was moderately successful at the box office, but it was no huge hit. It was moderately successful. So you've already got a niche franchise, and then in these post-COVID times when the box office is down across the board, that movie was going to struggle no matter who starred in it. And then you put a divisive actor in on top of that. The cards were all stacked against that movie.
Yeah, I did a video talking about Tron Ares very recently and talking about how Disney just mismanaged it basically all to hell by Disney vaulting the original movie. And then after Tron Legacy, they didn't capitalize on it because even though Tron Legacy didn't exactly set the world on fire, it didn't do too bad at the time. And originally, if you remember Tron 3, the one that was canceled in 2015, was going to be more of a direct sequel, but that got shelved.
Same director,
Joseph Kosinski.
Kosinski, yeah, they were days away from shooting.
Yeah, and then Tomorrowland came out with George Clooney, bombed, and then Disney got scared and canceled Tron 3, and now they try to revive it 10 years later. Who's still interested in a sequel to Tron Legacy 15 years later, even though it's not going to be a direct sequel to Tron Legacy? But Joe, to be fair, you are from the generation where you probably saw Tron when you were very young.
Oh, yeah. But
when did you first see Tron? Did you see it in theaters or on VHS?
I saw it on the Disney Channel back in the 80s.
Okay.
And I loved the visuals, but I didn't get it because it was very much about, nobody had a computer back then. Nobody had it. Like, I saw it again in college. And by the time I got to college, everybody had a computer. And suddenly all these like terms that they were using registered. And I'm like, oh, I see what's going on here. I didn't get this when I was like 7 or 8 years old. The lights were pretty. So it was, I think it was, I fell in love with that movie in college.
Okay. Because what I was about to say, Joe, because I am a lot younger than you, if you can't tell, I'm almost 30. But when I was coming up in the 2000s, Tron was never played on the Disney Channel. It was never even referenced. So when Tron Legacy came out in 2010, my first question was, what's Tron? And it was my dad that had to explain to me what Tron was. But the last DVD release, I believe, was 2002. I know they re-released it just before Legacy came out or just after. I don't remember when. That's when I saw it. And then my first thought was, why was everyone losing their minds over this movie? But I was like 13 or 14 by the time I first saw it. And again, I had never heard of it prior to Tron Legacy. So my opinion is, had I not seen the original Tron, I probably would have enjoyed Legacy, but I didn't like the original Tron. Because to me, it just looked very dated, and it's like, I don't understand why everyone's losing their minds over this. And so is Legacy going to be that bad? I waited to see Tron Legacy. I didn't think it was that bad, but I do believe that my experience with the first movie soured my opinion on Legacy.
Interesting.
And I haven't seen Legacy since.
I've never understood when people say the original Tron looks dated. Like, I don't get that. Because no movie ever looked like it before, and no movie really ever looked like it after. So I'm like, there's not a lot of comparison there. The closest you had was Automan, the TV show.
Oh, yeah, I remember that show. Yeah.
I have it on DVD.
Do you really?
Yes. So, Jay Casale says, I got into Tron because of Jeff Bridges as Kevin Flynn. Biodigital jazz, man. And Gracie says, didn't Ares start out as an original spec that was transposed into a Tron sequel? That I don't know, but I do believe, and I've heard people say they don't like the casting of Jared Leto, but it's my understanding that the movie only happened because it was a passion project for Jared Leto. It's my understanding that Jared Leto got that movie made, basically.
Another fun fact is that Jared Leto was originally considered for Tron 3 back in 2015. That was pre-Suicide Squad, just to put that into context. So the casting of Jared Leto in Tron Ares is not that surprising. But now we're talking Jared Leto post-Suicide Squad, when he was sending the gifts to all of his co-stars, which really kind of soured his reputation.
And post Morbius as well. So
yeah. Yep. The movie that got turned to a meme, then Sony re-released it in theaters to try to capitalize on the meme, and it only made like 50 grand after that.
And you know what? It's not a terrible movie. It's not a great movie either, but I've seen worse.
I think there's another version of that movie that existed before that one. If you go back and you watch the original trailers, there's like a chunk of stuff that's just not even in the movie that's in that first trailer.
Yeah, Morbius. I've seen so many worse movies than Morbius. Like, it's one of those movies that people like love to. It's a punching bag, and I don't think it totally deserves it. But I don't want to go off on too big of a tangent about Morbius here. But but it's the same thing with Madam Web. Like, I love the fact that Madam Web exists. I don't think it's a great movie, but that's a brave movie. Like, that's a big swing. That's a, hey, let's do a superhero movie about a really obscure character who really, her superpower is that she can see the future. Like, I mean,
I think they advertised that movie incorrectly.
Yeah,
I think the movie was advertised as like a Spider-Woman, Spider-Girl movie, and that's not what it was.
There's a great movie in that premise. And I'd love to see the director's cut, because I don't believe that the film that hit the
I feel the same way about Morbius. I don't think the Morbius movie is the one that they originally intended to make.
Oh, yeah, because there were scenes in the trailers that weren't in the movie.
Yeah, in that first trailer, there's probably 50% of that trailer is not in the final film. So
the fun thing to think about is, do you think that Morbius would have been as successful as Madam Web on streaming had it not starred Jared Leto? Because Madam Web did explode on Netflix when it first hit. I think, when was it, in May when it came to Netflix, or April? I don't remember. It doesn't really matter. But it did become a streaming hit, and I've always said that the reason it became a streaming hit was because it has the distinction of being one of, if not the worst movie of 2024, and you're already paying for Netflix regardless if you watch the movie or not. So you may as well watch Madam Web, and Madam Web was a huge hit on streaming.
I think everybody wants another Showgirls. They want one of those movies. It's like so campy and badly done throughout the movie that they can just, it becomes like a quotable film. And I don't know if we're ever going to get that again.
Yeah. What was the line? He was in the Amazon. He was in the Amazon with my mother studying spiders just before she died.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, I only remember that because John Mulaney made fun of it at the Oscars. If you remember, when he took the stage to present the award for, I think, Best Sound or something like that.
By the way, Joey says Tron the ride, Tron Light Cycle Run, great ride at Magic Kingdom. I finally rode it in January of this year, and it's a great ride. It really is. It's way too short. It's about a minute long. You're in line. Really? Yeah, you're in line much longer than you're.
You don't do the fast pass at Disney to get into the.
Well, that one wasn't. I don't think that one was taking fast passes because it was brand new. So
okay, it was like that when they did the first. I was there when they opened up the Avatar ride.
Caitlin Creates is guessing our ages.
Well, Caitlin, as of the end of this month, I have to do some quick math here. I will be 29. So I am probably the youngest on this panel, but I'm just assuming. I know Joe's older than me.
With Eric and I think it comes down to months. I don't know.
I think it's days, actually, right?
Well, I don't know your birth month.
My birthday is March.
Oh, mine too. Okay,
so that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think it's days because we're exactly the same age.
Did we discuss? I mean, I know we discussed the age, but I didn't know. I don't remember. But then again, I got the memory of a flea.
I said something about my birthday, and then you said, "Oh, mine too," or something, and it was like, "Oh, so I guess it's in the same month." That's why I thought you remembered that. It was from like a while back when we were first talking.
I love the fact that my birthday falls directly between two of my childhood heroes.
Actually, when is your birthday?
March 21st.
I'm older than you.
Okay.
Mine is March 5th.
Okay. There you go.
So I'm the oldest.
Caitlin, by days. by about 2 weeks. So Lisa's got a half right. Yeah. My birthday falls directly between March 20th, which is the birthday of both Mr. Rogers and Big Bird, and March 23rd or March 22nd is the birthday of William Shatner. So I'm right between Fred Rogers and Captain Kirk.
Wow. It's pretty cool.
All right.
So who was it that left that comment? You were wrong. I'm the oldest.
Caitlin creates. Yeah.
Well, she was right in the sense that I was the youngest.
Yes, that's
so
true.
You were half right.
I think it's my hairline. I have. Well, I don't know if I've ever seen your hairline. You always have a hat on.
I have like a side shaved head, but I've got like full.
You see now, yeah, you look younger.
Yeah,
because of the hair. So